My name is Jacqueline Hope Glass. I am in the Valentine Place area of the world in Norfolk, Virginia. I really appreciate you being comfortable with saying you're good, what you're good at. Like that is super important in this work because in order to do the kind of things that need to happen in this time, we need to know what we're good at and know how to call in other people based off their strengths. Because it can be long days, long thoughts. It's gonna be really freaking hard to advocate for the things that matter to you. And so it's really important those days when I don't wanna get something done, I've got a Stephanie to tell me what to do. On those days or weeks where I'm like, I don't even know what this means. How does this even work? I can call BZ and be like, can you look this up for me? Or when I'm really freaking hungry and I'm like, when's the next time there's a barbecue? Because I'm fatigued. Do you know what I mean? Or our tent is broken at this event that we are rallying at. Can you fix it? And you say, yes, we can. Everything adds value to the movement. And we're in a time where, I don't know about you, but it can feel really heavy. So with that, knowing that you're good at something, you're adding value to something, I want to walk into this evening understanding that this work, grabbing politicians by the ear, is not meant to be a one-person job. It's not meant to be attacked or approached in one way. There are so many different ways to do it, inviting them to the cookout, then allowing them to explain something to you, and then giving them some sweets to go, and then holding them accountable. There's so many different ways. And we need every last one of you at the table. So what I'm not gonna do tonight, or really what I don't want us to do, is have our head in the clouds, right? I wanna go back around the room, and you're gonna think of one word, that describes what this climate, political climate, makes you feel like. What does this climate make you feel like? Okay, one word, revolutionary, trash, disheartening, fighting, people talk, labor, like the act of giving birth, potential, reformation and anxiety, all valid feelings, all correct, all of it. So tonight, we're in a working book club with our feelings and with our strengths. Everybody hopefully will leave here with power and understanding of what their power is, and quite literally power cards, that we will have things that we can use immediately. We tonight will be practicing power. Okay, so tonight's map, we've got plenty of time because this work is meant to go an hour, but I'm pretty sure we'll have time to sort of interact. I always miss that. Sometimes when we do stuff, just chances to talk to people because they said something real cool, we'll leave space for that. We're gonna talk about why pressure works. We're gonna do some practicing with the ear, and then we're gonna be doing a lot of talking and sharing amongst each other and making some commitments before we leave. Can we do that? Can we do that? Okay, so the rhythm is this is gonna be the flow with most of the activities. We're gonna teach an idea, you're gonna be putting it into your zeitgeist, your log, so for your action. We'll probably do some working together and bouncing ideas off of each other, and then we're gonna pressure test some of the things we have in this room, because we got a lot of different strengths at the table, right? By the end of the night, there's a bonus too. We'll have 4 cards of power and 1 bonus. We will have each of us will leave with a very, very clear issue, a specific target, and 1 action for the next 48 hours. It's not a lot to ask, but who got a chance to read the book? Ooh, I love this. I love it. So the core premise in the book is that politics moves for people who know how to push and keep pushing, right? I want to hold in hands that the act of having power is not something that people are innately born with, right? It is not something that is ingrained in our personality. It is a practice. And I would like to know in this room, has anybody had to practice something? What's the hardest thing you've ever had to practice? I'll say self-control. That's serious. Self-control, I'm still doing it. It's really hard. It's really hard. What else? Come on. So what I like to believe is that there is nothing that is just easy. And there's nothing that people are just bad at. Some people have to work harder than others, right? And some people are skilled, but we all can practice it. Empathy, something you practice. Come on, we got to name the hard thing. Power. Patience. So first thing on the board right here, practice. Power is a repeatable practice. Everybody say that. Power is a repeatable practice. We're going to do it. Now, in this book, there's this argument here, and I'd love for somebody to read this little line for me. Who can see it? I see a bunch of glasses wearers. Come on, Jose, give it to me.
The booklet argues that most people are taught to see civic power as complicated, distant, and credentialed. The counter-argument is simple. Know what you want, know who can give it to you, and show up often enough that ignoring you costs more than listening.
Say that last line again.
Show up often enough that ignoring you costs more than listening.
Okay, fair enough, because everybody in this room has value. So up for discussion, where have you been trained to ask for permission before using power? Where does it resonate? Where does it sit with you most where you've been trained that you need to ask first? In every space and place, we are told to know our place. The permissive economy has been ingrained in us. And somehow, some way, there are those of us who find a way to ignore that and become egomaniacs, right? There's those of us who have found a way to just not give a damn and be narcissists and center self, right? And that is bad, right? That is considered not a bad thing. That is considered selfish up until it gets exercised in situation where powers matter. Your boss, looking out for self, putting self first, right, is the boss and gets promoted, right? I can tell you in politics, many of the people with the perception of power don't give a damn about anybody else in the room. They don't subscribe to the permissive economy. They don't subscribe to it. And what do they get? What do you feel? I mean, say it out loud. What you feel like they get? Name it. We're naming things. What do they get? They get power, accolades. They're on their own OFP, we call it, own fucking program, right? They get it anyway, right? So what does that say about you being in a permissive space? What does that tell us about ourselves? And so when you think about power in that way, what does when I say the word power, how does that word make you feel? I shy away from it because all I've seen is egotistical people use it. All I've seen is the worst of I'd be like, I don't know that I want to be in the light like that because I'm not like that. I'm not like them. I'm not like that. So I'll just be over here, guys, and I'll use my gifts right over here for you. You know what I mean? So let's think. We've been taught that the exercise of power, just based off what was said in this room, that there's a negativity to it. So if we've got in our mind that power is for the egotistical people, power is it's a dirty word, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're a black woman or black, you know what I'm saying? These conditions, these identities that we wear get to determine how we get to use power, how we're perceived in power. Then we just don't use it. We cede it. I'm saying this as a person who's ceded my power so much. Here's the thing. In order for power to be good, more good people have to have power. And so my ask for you today as good people is to step into your power. Please. That's me. I'm going to get on a knee. Will you step into your power? Will you do it today? It is a choice, right? It is repeatable practice. Okay? Fair enough? We can do that? Holy guacamole. Look at us. All right. For those who read the book, can you tell me a moment or in the book where some of that kind of stood out to you, or it's like where you saw power in a different way through the book or got context on power? So you've got the church, you've got the rich. Who else did they sort of bring in on the path along the way? Say it. Rural. Rural. They brought in the rural folks. Class warfare, right? Yep. Consistent messaging, using morality, using money. Preventing cross conversations in spaces where the rich own it. Yeah, well, we're not supposed to talk about money, politics, or religion. The very spaces that are weaponized. Historical context. History can be our trainer. It can be a very good teacher. It can be a warning sign. It can really put us in the position to have a field manual, should we use it properly. There is a pattern with movements that is really sort of nailed down in this book. There is a true pattern. Movements win through accumulated pressure, meaning they grew the church, or they grew the wealthy. The wealthy start talking to the church. What do churches need? Yeah, money, right? It is not the isolated, the individualistic things that we do. We have to start accumulating, accumulating like-minded folks on a very real level. And pattern. You mentioned the church. You mentioned the wealthy. Discipline, persistence, even when there's setbacks, and then pressure at multiple points. So the lesson here, and I'd love for somebody to read this, the lesson about why this E.A.R.R model wins. Anybody want to read it for me? I don't want a shotgun. Go ahead. All right, Julian.
Activism is a practice, not an event. The question is not, did this one action work? The question is, what does this action build toward next?
Right? We consistently should be asking ourselves that question. I did this thing, this met or did not meet the level of success, but what does it build towards? Because that is the thing. It is discipline and persistence that become the hardest part of the work. And I can tell you as a politician, right, the expectation is that at some point you'll stop emailing and you'll stop calling. I'm just being real with you. At some point you'll get sick of being ignored and you'll just stop. And I'll tell you that happens for a lot of folk. They just be like, they not listening anyway. They ain't answered my email in 2 months. Can I give an example? Before I got elected, I was somebody's mom, somebody's neighbor on the corner. And there were a lot of concerns. I emailed my elected official, my council person. I emailed. I called the number that they had. Then I called the general number for the council secretary. Then I tried to have a conversation at some of the meetups. I emailed again. I called again. And I said, I'm done. Well, 2 years after that year, I had a good idea that I was already putting into motion, already had the partner set up. And I said, let me give this person an opportunity. So I put it out to the city manager and to my council people. That person responded to that email because it was a good idea and it would make them look good. And I can tell you what I did was beep, boop, bop, boop, beep, beep, beep in my email. I found where they didn't answer 3 years ago. And I sent them that email with the information and said, I need to know this before we can get started. 3 years later, do you know? It felt terrible to have to do that, but it was also like, yo, who the F are you to come to me when you feel like I'm worthy, I am valuable, I am useful to you, right? So we know, at least I know in this process, and I want you to understand that you are the flex. You are the power. And when you are persistent and disciplined and continuing to do the work, eventually these politicians will turn to you and ask you for your help. They expect you to fall off. They expect you to give up. They expect that you won't be able to bring other people in. Because who are you? You're just at this address. So the question for the room right now is, what issue in your life needs persistence? And not just your good feelings about them or your bad feelings about them, not just your passion for the work. I need you to, we're going to get out a piece of paper. What is that issue in your life that needs persistence? There's some note cards here too. Just write it down. What needs it? It's an issue in your life. It doesn't have to be political, because let me tell you something. It is not just about seeing success with politics. When you start seeing yourself to be able to do the thing for you, it becomes so much easier to exercise it outside of your personal space, because you know you could do it. So what's the thing? It could be on the job. It could be with your spouse or with your kids, right? So no, it doesn't always have to be the big things outside that. Sometimes it's right in your backyard. All right, so that is why we have to put ear on loop. Everybody say, grab them by the ear. Grab them by the ear. Yeah, man, that's what we got to do. We got to put the ear on loop. And for those of you that guys didn't get a chance to read it, this is what ear is. It is a very simple cycle for turning your frustration into some level of a strategy, right? Getting you to act and be able to do the things. So I would love for us to go around the room and sort of somebody read E, somebody read A.R.R. Just pick it, what feels good. Go ahead, educate. Know the issue, know the target, know the ask. If you haven't read it, these are things you need to put into your zeitgeist. To educate is to know the issue, know the target, know the ask. Who's got A? So this one's super important. This is where I think it's really hard when passion gets in the way, right? Is that I oftentimes get emails to my office from people that should be talking to their school board member, that should be talking to the Commonwealth's attorney, that should be talking to the treasurer, right? This is put pressure where it needs to be felt, because it excuses those people in those positions from doing their job, because it looks like Sally got too much to do and trying to do save the world is always at the throats of other electeds, because the pressure isn't where it needs to be felt. Okay? Activate. Finding out where the target and putting pressure on that target. All right? Next one. Yeah, that's that movement building we talked about, right? That's called about that. That's that broad participation that you're like, I know. I know exactly. I've determined exactly what we need, exactly who that person is. I'm going to show up, and now I'm bringing my friends. Holla at me, right? Okay? Repeat. And that's the thing, is who got a job in here? And if you don't, that's okay if you don't have a job right now, right? Who has a life in here and things that they want to do, right? Like, you have other things. These things can't be all encompassing. You need to be able to say, can you take this for me for a little bit? Thank you so much, right? And then pass it along like, hey, can you take that? And it's delicious for every person. You're right, you don't want to give it up, but you pass it. You've already talked about something that you care about. Name an issue you care about. We're going to put one decision maker down, right? That you know of, that you think of, a specific demand, and one deadline for this moment. Because I want everybody to leave with something, okay? All right? Write it down, right? What's the issue you care about? Who's the decision maker with authority? If you don't know, that's okay. That's why we're here together. Specific demand, one deadline. Okay, who else got it? You shut up. Go ahead.
Affordable housing, aka the Vienna housing model. I've already contacted the city manager, but I need to contact the CSB Housing Committee Board and the mayor as well, and Angela Graves. What was the next one? Write one specific down. Build and sustain communities. And then at one deadline, I said create a template that others can read, understand, then ask for as well if they agree.
Okay. What's your deadline?
Oh, eventually.
So
Okay, I would say 10 to 14 days.
10 to 14 days to make a move, right? Fair enough. Okay, because I've done a referendum, right? Twice over up against the city for an ordinance. So I'm just saying this, didn't even think about it in the back pocket, is that there is also a way to have the general public be able to do or force council to hold public hearings on issues and take votes on certain issues. So I just want to put that in the back pocket, petitioning for a referendum. It's kind of what when we did the casino, they didn't want to have public meetings. So we pulled together, worked our butts off and got signatures, petitions, certified. The clerk of court is really helpful. Just saying that with helping you with the legal process. We got signatures and we forced, actually, just the act of starting a referendum shook the city into holding not one, but 2 public hearings, right? So like part of this is not knowing, remember he said, not just barking up the tree, barking up the right tree. When you don't know the process, they can dismiss you as, well, by all means, go ahead, email that guy. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything until it actually means something. So like put that in your back pocket with that a referendum. I love that. What I want you to do right now is to turn to a neighbor, right? And I want you to turn to a neighbor and speak to them like they are that person of authority and do your ask. Yeah. All right. So here's how I'm judging. There's a C. Well, I'm not judging how you're going to judge. Very quickly, in 20 seconds or less, you are going to articulate your partner's ask. Listen, that's, yes. Because this is the important part. Articulate your partner's ask. Let's go. What's your partner's ask?
It was just there in Stephen. The Bill of Rights for tenants and a tenants union to protect basically renters and rent gouging in the area of Norfolk because it does have a lot of renters, over 50%.
Okay. You want them to be able to walk away and understand you very clearly. Okay. So what I want you to do now, this is the activate piece, right? We understood what our issue was, right? How do we activate? I want you to develop 20-second, right? Because you just tried to do it with another person, and some of y'all caught stuff, some of you didn't. If you were to pick up the phone right now, pick it up right now. Who has their phone with them? Okay? If you have your phone, I want you to get your recording app out, your recorder, right? Take it out. If you don't have your phone, I want you to try to jot it down. I want you to develop your call script, right? If you got the voicemail right now, I want you to go ahead and develop your call script. If you're a person that says, I'm not going to call nobody, I'm not going to call anybody, then open up your email right now. Open up an email. You're not going to put a name or anybody in there, but we're going to start the draft for that email right now of what you would say to that person. Is that fair enough? Okay. I'm going to give you a note card so that you can write it down because note cards can be mailed too. Am I right about that? Okay. I'm going to give you, I'm off. We're going to take 4 minutes because you've already established a person. We've practiced a little bit of the script already. Jot it down. Are we ready? Go for it. Does anybody need paper? Right. This is you practicing your power and understand what exactly do you want them to take away. This is teaching the test, right? It is not giving a dissertation. Because I can tell you as a politician, sorry, I forgot about this. As a politician, my inbox is crazy. Like, what I mean is it's not crazy how many people are emailing. It's the sheer amount of information that people are throwing at me all at once, or the staff all at once, where it's like, I just need your ask. Tell me what it is that you want me to do. And if you are in the position where you want to move people, you're going to have to get concise. Because especially in the legislature, it's boom. Stephanie can tell you, you don't get a lot of time, right? So you want to make sure you are very clear. All I said, I took 20 seconds of your time and you tell me you can't remember what I said. I emailed you 4 sentences. You mean to tell me you can't remember? So this is how we move towards follow-up. It's because we're very clear. Brevity is key. It takes practice. Because what I don't want you to do is play yourself and give a dissertation, and they'll be like, that was really nice. We are not trying to grapple with politicians. That's why that 20 seconds is so good. Because you can have yourself always ready with 20 seconds. Always ready. Doesn't matter who it is. That little email, then you have to build it. It becomes less of a chore. It's like, oh, I already know what I need to say. Done, right? How many minutes they give you to talk at council? 3 minutes. Tell me 3 minutes ain't a long time. 3 minutes becomes a long, listen, you're like, I got eons and eons of time. So just imagine what you can get out of yourself in that 20 seconds. This is training yourself to be a better activator, right? Okay? And not letting the pressure to have something beautifully and wonderfully made get in the way of action. Not the pressure of having all the statistics and the data to get in the way of action. It will do it. It ain't right. So you will win the condition. One clear demand. 4 different pressure points you have here. A phone call, a quick email, a public question, and then following up. This takes practice. Each of you were giving make a power card. Y'all see this? Okay. This is where it gets real because we are unclear on some things, right? Knowing who and what matters. We're going to fill this out to the best of our abilities. Can we do that? Yeah. Okay. Here's what we're going to do to tag team, because there's some people in here who I already know this stuff. So I'm going to have them help with the bigger things, and we're going to information share. Is that fair? All right. Vince, can you take the task of looking up the local registrar? Kim, can you take up the mantle of getting the mayor's information for the power card? Can you take up the mantle of getting the city manager for Norfolk? Can you take the mantle of looking up the attorney general information? Sure. You know I asked that. Okay? And then I will get the governor's information. What I want everybody else to do is get your council members' contact information. Okay? Got eyes looking up. All right, are we ready to copy back information?
Yes.
Are we ready? The rest of these names, I want you to put this on your card because you're going to take time to fill this card up and put it on your refrigerator. Yep. If you go to who's my legislator, and put your address in, you'll get the rest of that information. Who's my legislator? If you're in Norfolk, a great website that'll just give you all the stuff and things is E.A.R.R.norfolk.gov. E.A.R.R stands for Address Information Resource.norfolk.gov. Okay. The next part of this is actually homework. Boo. Down with homework. I thought we were adults. We are. And we're doing the daggum thing, right? So what I want you to think about is you all have processed through the urgent thing, the thing you want to be persistent at. You were in the news for the thing that you're persistent at, right? Like, still going. We don't stop, right? So you've articulated where the power resides. Every time I say that, I think about you. Where the money reside? Where the money reside, right? You already know where the power resides. Who's that authority figure that I need to get at? And also, we have a room full of people where we're going to use resources and share in here. We've determined that we could quickly ask, right? We know how to activate. 20 seconds, you give me 20 seconds. I can pump an email out in like 2 minutes because I know all I'm going to say is this, this, and this, right? We know that this is an exercise of what? Persistence, and it is practice, right? This is practice. But in order to grow the movement, we've got to bring people in, right? And that starts with just the people around you. We don't need a massive crowd right now. You would be surprised what 2 people can do, what 3 people can do, right? In my office as a politician, if I get an email, actually, let me ask this, because let me ask this. How many people have to email my office on an issue for it to become an emergency or a big deal for me? What do you think? I'm just saying, state level. So 1. Okay, who else? 3. Take a guess. Let's just give a number. What's your number? How many people are in this room right now? Right? Enough to make it urgent. There are enough of you in this room to make it urgent. Just in this little room right here. Okay, power to the people. The people have the power. I'm not saying that to be funny. So you are going to get a warm ask. I want you to think right now, and you're going to get, if you think long, you think wrong on this one, okay? Let's say that with me. Think long, you think wrong. Say it again. Think long, think wrong. I'm going to give you 15 seconds. Yeah. You're great under pressure. You're phenomenal under pressure. I want you to think in this 15 seconds, when I say this, you immediately write on your power card. Flip it over. Who you gonna call? Right now. Who are you calling in on your issue? If we had to pick up the phone right now, who are you calling? Write it down. Who you're calling? Who you're recruiting?
Oh, like a friend?
Friend, like a friend, recruiting. If you think long, you think wrong. Your first instinct is right. First instinct is absolutely correct. Who we calling?
We're making a full list or just?
I just asked for one person. If you can give me more, then great. All right, here's what we're going to do. In the next 48 hours, hear me out. In the next 48 hours, I want you to do that ask. Tell them what you're up to. Tell your person, here's what I'm up to, right? And I need your help because can we both send this email? Can we both leave this voicemail, right? Here's a great script. I will send these, make sure your name is on the sign-in sheet. I will send these slides to you. Hey, friend, I'm working on housing. Would you be willing to email such and such with me this week? It'll only take how many minutes? Then we did all this stuff in under 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I'm asking for 3 minutes of your time, friend. Right? Can we do that? Can we do that? Okay. So if you haven't put on the sign-in sheet, I need you to go ahead and say, I haven't done the thing so you can hold me accountable because we're going to make sure you're accountable. Make sure you sign in. And I want to get you these slides. Is that fair? 48 hours for a friend. Easy day, because we're doers and we get more done. Okay. The important piece is not only are we on a short timeline to call our people in, the P word that we got today was what? Pressure and persistence. We're actually going to come back together virtually and do something similar to this on July 22nd. What I need you to do in this moment is I need you to ask yourself, and this is soft or hard, right? And it doesn't have to be, guess what? The biggest thing here is what? Persistence. It is not, we're not fatiguing. Where's the bear at? Did we hand it? Right? That's why we got that friend that we can say, can you hold this for me for a second? I need you to get that done, right? Like, you need to pick your rhythm for your issue. How hard or how soft do you want to go? How do you want to push? Right now, how often are you going to show up? If you're sending a voicemail or making that phone call, am I doing it once a week? Am I saying I'm doing it and I'm giving them 48 hours, 72 hours to respond and I'm following up? Remember, the thing you just built is going to take you 30 seconds, maybe 3 minutes. What's your frequency? Okay? And then how long are you going to do it? We're going to aim for 30 days. Collectively, can we all commit to 30 days of an intensity and a frequency? Can we do it? I got to hear you say it. Okay, with that, some of you are going to have the time and the bandwidth to show up on the 22nd because there's going to be some more people that are going to come in. And you're going to be able to give them your testimony or your feedback on what it looked like. Some of you, not all of you, or if it's all of you, I'm super impressed, right? But that's what we need. Build a plan that makes quitting harder and continuation easier, okay? A plan to make it hard to quit. That's what we're doing here. That's what grab them by the ear is. Building a plan that makes it hard to quit. I know you're a fighter, but I'm not asking you to stay in the ring for 12 or 20 rounds, right? We're asking for 2 solid rounds right now. And if you can't do 2, say, look, yep, that's great. I know you want 2. I can give 1. And 1 is going to take me 30 days. Determine how many rounds you want to go in these 30 days. Yes, Ari Julian.
Does it have to be people in my ward?
No.
Okay.
Your people. Find your people.
Gotcha.
What are we doing? Can we say we're making quitting harder? Say it again. We got to make quitting hard, okay? I was going to say, I don't even want to do this because we know what we're doing in the next 48 hours. I've already determined for you. You ain't got to think about it. You're calling a friend. Because what I think is that person that you're going to call is going to hold you accountable better than a person like me can, right? You're going to get them with the plan. What I want to do is go around and I want you each to read this line. I want you to internalize it for yourself. You're saying it to yourself. If you want to shout it out first, go ahead.
I didn't.
Do it. Do it.
Okay. Power does not need to be loud every day. It needs to be present, precise, and persistent.
Power does not need to be loud every day. It needs to be present, precise, and persistent. That means that we're not sitting up here fatiguing our lives. They will feel and know that we are here. They will feel our presence because we are going to be clear and we're going to be persistent, right? They will understand that even when we're not in the room, we're in the room, right? Present in mind of the decision makers. That is how we make collective response, because we are going to educate ourselves, which we've done a bit. We're going to activate, we'll recruit our friend, and then we just keep going, right? That is what this 21-page book is about. If you would like extra credit, I challenge you to exchange your information with one person in this room, or take this moment to text your friend that you want to call in and tell them, I got something I need to talk to you about. When can I call you? So this is what we're going to do, because we love these librarians. This is how meetings typically transition. We continue talking in the parking lot. No, I mean, no, it's a natural progression. If you want to change information with someone, we got no cards, but your challenge is to go ahead and text that friend or get information from somebody in this room right now. That's the challenge, because we're going to grab them by the ear. Okay. Fair enough? You should be proud of yourself this evening. Showing up. This is the work. Yes, thank you for coming.